their Melissa.
Yeah, better box for Team Vietnam.
A lot of team fighting capabilities for Vietnam. Meanwhile, for Malaysia, got to give it to them in terms of pickoffs. It's going to be very interesting to see Sorn on his signature hero here to try and find the opportunities for Malaysia and maybe even avoid team fights from happening.
Take note, by the way, that for Gary, he already used his retribution. So although for Vietnam, there's no real vision. Usually we see some of the boss fights to really go on those area, but definitely no steal from Vietnam because of that.
Oh, but also, look at Sorn. He's been going 2v1, at least 2v1, since the game started. He's been holding down the fort.
That's just confidence from Sorn. He's been emoting as well the entire time. He knows for a fact there's two people. He just kind of wanted to play with Vietnam here. But no retributions will be burnt. I still think that Malaysia, with this type of attitude to be in the beginning, could definitely mess with the minds of Vietnam here.
Just mental warfare.
Yeah, but I mean, you always see Sorn to go beyond that leader side. So a lot of information for Malaysia right now. And interestingly enough, for the side of Vietnam, there's only one player. I mean, for the side of Malaysia, that was forced to use this Purify. So it is expected for Chico guys to have a bit of a problem in terms of positioning when there is a team fight. Not unless Gar will be in front of the initiation.
Yeah, in this Beatrix versus Melissa matchup, I'm expecting the Melissa to have a slight edge in the laning phase, maybe because of the range advantage. But I do see that they're going in for an early rotation up in mid lane for extra gold.
Oh, Nart, very low. Can you guys finish it? Indeed he does. With a tactical reposition, it compromises Vietnam's first Lord take, Turtle take possibilities.
Nice position for Chico guys at that moment, by the way. It's as if he's just waiting for the player of Vietnam to be on that area to do the free hits. Nice communication from Malaysia.
And I like the read there. Both flickers burnt. I am not even a flicker for the Melissa.
Yeah, no.
As he just dashed away. He knew that the Cho would burn his flicker. When you're a gold laner of this standard, you kind of feel if somebody's off to get you.
I can almost hear Zorn as he flickers in, comes up short and goes, hey. Right? Because again, that's a great catch though. This time around, redeeming himself, blasting Nard. Another kill for Chiku.
I love the weapon swap to ult. Like this has been the go-to combo right now. Whenever the lock-in goes in,
they're still going. Still alive. You were saying?
I mean, that combo for the Beatrix right now. You lock down the target. Your Pulse 5 or your Roamer locks down a target. You throw in Bennett's Passion. You switch up to Nibiru, immediately popping Nibiru's Passion and Bennett's Rage.
That's right.
Just going in with a lot of burst damage.
Very effective rotation, but wait.
Sword very low. Joe gets a turtle and a fatal links. Oh, carry knocked up. He doesn't want any of this. Repo very low commits his flicker on out. Can Yandere finish the job? Oh, Vietnam calls out.
By the way, very nice timing with the fatal links from Nart at that time. So Malaysia has to be prepared on that one. But for Malaysia, they were able to secure that. I mean, no, but it was if I were I mean, you just really have to look forward for that one with that stationary wait.
Here's a kick. Zorn puts Joe underneath. That's tier 1 in mid. Zorn finishes his job. Oh, he still wants Nart. Can he get him? Oh, playing with his food. A flicker from Nart.
And Joe did the right thing. He was going in for a kill against a mid laner who've already burnt his black shoes. But then again, Sorn, with his signature Cho, finds an angle, kicks him back to the turret, and then it left Vietnam asking, where's Joe? And then who's Joe?
How's Joe?
How's Joe?
And then Joe says, I'm not Joe.
Joe, Joe
yeah.
Mama.
Yeah, for Malaysia, it is all credited to the vision that Sword has, even the aggression. Just look at that, Izanami dives in under the turret and uses the black shoes just to back away and deal damage against the Meow. So Malaysia is just all over the place for this game.
Look at this, a fatal links on the one. Zorn does get away with it though. And he lives. Meow gonna try to finish the job. The tail end of Mia takes him down, but there's a trade. He's a Nami, his fallen comrade. And there's Kiko guys with the point blank Nibiru's passion. Now Nart falls. It's 2K for Izanami. 3-for-1 at the end. Malaysia comes out the victor.
The Vietnamese squad still getting a few kills here against Malaysia. Meow, great find on the Brave Spider. But Malaysia, Chico Guys' positioning in that fight definitely got more than Vietnam there.
Steady soul booms, by the way, from Izanami at that time. We saw that damage against Joe, so it is very difficult for Vietnam to really stay longer on those areas of team fights. And we could see again the pressure being brought by Malaysia here at the top lane just to secure the turret for Chico Guys. What's really nice for the rotation of Malaysia is that when they do the double laning for Chico Guys, there is always a kill. So it is an only, 3-0-2 for the KD of Chico Guys, right? And with this KDA, it is expected that the damage and even items of Chico Guys is really ahead as compared to Yandere of Vietnam.
And even if Malaysia are playing with, again, a game of inches, even if they don't convert as big or even if the lead isn't as huge, I'd say this is working. I'd say, again, a team fighting lineup like Vietnam, this is a great start for Malaysia as we go into the mid-game. Can I just say, is this not the best of Chico Guys we've seen, at least in the past year?
I feel like Chico Guys right now is reaching a new prime. Like, I feel like every time we see Chico Guys,
A new prime.
a new prime, and
Before we thought it was already his prime.
now it's a new prime,
It's
you
a
know?
new prime.
And I would say Sorn as well, looking
Right.
quite
Oh.
stellar. I mean, he literally went away after
Close
goal.
call. Was there not a time wherein we thought Chico Guys was going to retire or
Yeah.
at least take a break?
But with this performance, maybe not.
No.
Not yet for Chico Guys.
The Malaysian people are not going to allow it, Chico. You're too good.
You retire when the government says so. And it's never gonna
It's
happen.
never gonna happen.
Not when you're playing this amazingly.
I mean, 3-2 for this Beatrix. The map awareness is there. The right choice of weapon on this Beatrix. And 4.7 gold lead for Malaysia at this 7-minute game time. And again, continuous pressure at the top lane. Look at Sorn.
Oh, Lord! Look at that! Oh, Fatal Link's attempt. Now Zorn falls, but they trade out for 2. And can they capitalize? Oh.
Just look at the confidence of Malaysia whenever Sorn is trying to dive against the players of Vietnam. They are aware that even Izanami and even Gary can back away even if they are being targeted by the turret. So right now, Malaysia is doing pretty well, but for Vietnam, they could change things around if Yandere will secure that item or an item that is more on attack speed. Maybe the Demon Hunter sword.
I just gotta say though, like Sorn in that play, he literally stood right in front of those two people, and it's like the Jedi mind trick. How about y'all group up like side by side before I flicker in with my final kick?
Yeah, no,
And
that's what you get.
it's a Jedi mind trick,
That's
bro.
what you get with the mental warfare that Zorn has been playing ever since starting the competition here in the SEA Games. Look at it, the recalls, the stickers, the emotes, it all gets into your head.
Definitely mind games for Sword. Imagine if you are Vietnam, you have to think, is this gonna be a play?
Can we
from
get it?
Sword?
Wait a minute. It's still just 9 minutes in. It's important and it's imperative for a lot of Filipinos watching right now that this does not end before 10:20, because if it does, it diminishes a majority of the chances here for Philippines. But if this goes past 10 minutes 20, Malaysia is basically doing the Philippines a favor.
I'm not sure if it's 10, 20, or 30 minutes because of the information that we had earlier, but around those timestamps. We'll confirm that later.
Yeah, and regardless, if Malaysia wins, that also still just secures and cements the rankings for Group A. Because, if I'm not mistaken, the Philippines wins the head-to-head to Vietnam since they beat them.
And Vietnam, they could potentially still turn this around with a big team fight. Again, this is a very team fight-centric competition.
Better box, that's right.
Coming in from Vietnam. And we've seen 8K gold leads diminish by the hands of Malaysia themselves against Philippines.
Yep, if any team knows that that's possible, it's this squad right here. So they have to respect that possibility.
Speaking of possibilities, again for Vietnam, we saw the possibilities with Nords. Fatal Links earlier, although Izanami again with his shadow entities. You can't really... initiate if there's massive damage
Yeah.
from this Lilia. But yep, Lord marching in at the bottom lane. Vietnam has the kit in terms of a minion wave. This is the first Lord of the game with Melissa's damage per second.
Nart might just go for it, but he doesn't.
Looking for it.
Soren.
Soren's just spacing them out, man.
Why?
And there's a 3-man knockup and a kick onto the Atlas. They answer back with Fatal Links and the RWM. Gary gets taken out. Meow defending their base. But Izanami finishes the job. 2 for 1 so far. Turret still standing. Top and mid. Oh, Malaysia, they're gonna push their luck here.
But down
I
the
wonder
sniper.
if the snipe from Chico, guys. No one home. Finds Nart. Wants to go again. And, oh, there's a breather.
Okay, so for that one, we still have a minion wave though for Malaysia at the middle lane. And look at Chico, guys. This didn't damage. And another one for Nart. Nice defense though for Vietnam. They are still alive in this game.
Still trying to defend their base. Vietnam, 4-10 is our kill score. It's a massive gold lead coming in from Malaysia. An 8.5k gold lead means the next Lord could be lethal against Vietnam. But Vietnam, I mean Malaysia, they know that this type of lead could still be a one-way push. They did it themselves, and Vietnam has the capacity to do so. We know that the Melissa is such a great siege type marksman, if you would use her that way, and also a big team fighting one too. So Vietnam, they have all the tools to mount a comeback if Malaysia gets too overconfident.
Yep, definitely it will start from North's, maybe the Fatal Links probably against Chico guys. Chico guys is the only problem here. Maybe even Izanami, although there is the Purifier. Regardless, whichever of those 2 players that we've mentioned for Vietnam. By the way, now we have to consider the positioning of a Sorn.
Yeah.
On that bush rather. So most likely it's gonna be Hehe and even a Yamdare that will go on that area.
And this is a crucial Lord because we just got crucial information as well that Vietnam needs a faster win against Malaysia's win against the Philippines, which was 14-21. And we're 2 minutes away from that. The Lord is still there. If Vietnam, for some reason would secure that Lord and go for a one-way push, Team Philippines would be basically, I wouldn't say dead, but
In shambles.
in shambles.
Yep, and that could happen though for Malaysia, since there's a possibility for Gary to
Gary
go
doing?
for a split push. Although I believe for Vietnam, they are aware that is a thick minion no wave flow
They're
from
on their-
Malaysia.
They're on their mid side. And Gary now goes instead for the purple buff. And yeah, this Lord pull, this Lord dance, dare I say, for Malaysia, is looking great because again, Vietnam really, they're outgunned.
Yeah,
It'll
they
be
are.
too dangerous if they try to steal.
And that will be a clean Lord take for Malaysia as their gold lead rises to almost 10,000. They could potentially end this with one big push. And I love the setup that they're doing right now with their waves, Chantel.
Yep, and speaking of setups, I believe with the item right now of Sword with the Immortality, it's a lot easier for him to like dive on the base of Vietnam and go for a lock against Yandre. For Vietnam, the only player that could actually clear the mid or has the mid defend this Lord is going to be Yandre with the help of the initiation, of course, of his teammates. Now, for Malaysia, they could go and really have Gary bait the skills
Let's
of
see.
Vietnam with this Lord marching out of the bottom lane.
And there are waves as well in the mid and the top wave. It's going to be massive for Malaysia. It's quite clear that they want to end this now.
Yep, they understood the dynamic. They respected the fact that a comeback could come out of nowhere. Hence why they played it very clean, very safe. And look at the positioning of Nart. This is interesting. What an angle. If he can get this.
Yup, although there's a vision already from Gary. By the way, Izanamis Black Shoes has the use. And even for Zorn, he is a bit disciplined on that aggression. I mean, with the crowd control that Vietnam has, it is a bit difficult to dive in again with that Jeet Kune Do and Way of the Dragon combo on his choke.
I just can't believe this. Vietnam, despite the 11k gold, the perfectly set waves coming in from Malaysia. That was the end game for Malaysia, but the clear speed coming in from Vietnam, still holding on to the hopes of basically winning this game by a comeback. This is still very important.
Oh no, Izanami, another black shooter to the back line!
Behind.
Hey, it's assassinated by Gary. Now Zorn with the flicker, the answer back, go away from Yandere. Looking at a 4v5 defense. And so far, Malaysia, they are hell-bent. Look at the space Chico is buying for himself. A single tactical reposition plus a flicker, and an ult could end this all for Vietnam. And there's a knockup by Zorn, a kick on to Nard, and there he is! A lot of damage, but the answer back of Felix! Chico is down!
Izanami's down!
Izanami's down as well! 2-for-1 trade, Vietnam succeeds in the defense!
Just what we said, that for Vietnam, they just needed a fatal links from Nard. A very nice set from Nard, and at the same time, we see already the damage from Yandere as to why there is a way for Vietnam to extend this game.
It's a one-way!
Lord, it might be! 15 seconds away. Look at Zorn. What's happening? Oh, that's 5. Knocking on the doors. Chiku 8 seconds away. Izanami the same. Can Zorn get it? There's a knockup.
Yandere.
The kick on the Yandere. The answer back. The RWM. Can Zorn survive? He has an immortality. Here comes Repo drawing a line between the base and the sieging Vietnamese squad. And the fatal links answered back. Repo with the split. Just enough time to
Joe.
the immortality. Down goes Joe.
Man, such a threatening push coming in from Vietnam. That could have been the one-way push that Vietnam wanted to end the game, and now Nart in trouble, and Izanami takes him down. Yandere and Meow. Zorn is looking for him. Jeet Kune Do will not land. Stickers up though, because Lord might just been secured by Malaysia.
Commendable defense by Malaysia, and the clearing of minion wave of this little hero is just massive against Vietnam. For Vietnam, again, they just need that setup play, probably start with the RWM slow, and then give space for Nart and even Joe on that energy eruption. But regardless, for Malaysia, all they need is to really find Yandere, but Yandere is really using his go away very nice, and we saw that earlier against Gary.
What? Yandere hasn't died yet?
Yup.
Yandere!
The positioning, man.
There's so many ways for Malaysia to actually get to him, and he hasn't died yet?
Yes, that's how good Yandere is in terms of his positioning. But Chico, guys, has been farming out of his mind in this game. 15k gold!
I mean, for this type of farming and even a gold that Chico guys has, I believe that he has extra gold if they go really aggressive on this possible final push for the team.
Yeah.
Maybe an immortality and go for the tower lock. Why not? For Team Malaysia, look at that. There is the zone.
Oh, it's a seal play from Zorn and Chico guys. And they sink all the waves. Look at the Lord. Threatening the crash into Vietnam base. And there's an RWM coming in from Hehe. Down goes Yandere. Gary and Zorn punching away. Chico guys falls. Repo still here. Izanami as well. 3 members from Vietnam still defending. Gary goes down. Hehe as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Vietnam, their last stand. Is it going to be enough? Zorn just punching away. Malaysia takes the win.
And here we see Repo once again. Another iconic celebration, I think. Well, of course he's gonna do it. You gotta do it to him, Repo. Malaysia takes this game against Vietnam. And based on the information that we have right now, it is still a confirmed triple tie for Group A. And we have to wait for the game between Timor-Leste and Philippines. And the thing about that is that the Philippines has to win against Timor-Leste to be one of the teams going out of Group A. So Timor-Leste could potentially play spoiler, play out of their minds, and eliminate Philippines later. That is a possibility.
A lot of stake for the next match for Timor-Leste and the Philippines. But of course, who's gonna love the attitude, by the way, of Repo? I loved a lot of character during that moment. But kudos, of course, to the whole Malaysian squad with the performance that they had.